What up, it's your Timmons here. Now, here's my throwback segment where I talk about the films that turns 10, 20, and I'm also going to be talking about the films turning 30 as well. Uh, which I didn't really do last year, but I decided this year I will do the 30, start the 30-year one as well. So, with that being said, here are the films that are celebrating its anniversary, and not a lot really to talk about. First up, the film that is turning 10 is one that not many people enjoy, and lots of people probably call this the worst out of the franchise, but I had a fun time with it. Now, this is also one of the rare folks who actually enjoyed that Texas Chainsaw movie from last year. I know, and that is, of course, Texas Chainsaw 3D. Now, I admit, I know there are people who are not a fan of the franchise, except for the first one, obviously. I'm one of the rare folks who don't mind them. I mean, especially I did not mind the Netflix one. I know lots of people really bash on that one. It says the worst out of the franchise, but I had a fun time with that Texas Chainsaw film. But 10 years ago, we saw the release of Texas Chainsaw 3D, which I had a fun time with. I remember watching this one in 3D. Believe it or not, it was actually the first time I've ever seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the movie theaters because obviously I was not born when the originals got released. You know, I was pretty young when the Jessica Biel one and Beginning got released. So this was actually pretty much my first time seeing a Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the big screen, and I had a fun time with this one. Come on, you had Trey Songs was in this. That's interesting there. Alexandra Daddario, I liked. I mean, although I would admit the whole thing about her being being Leatherface's sister, I still find that to be odd because she is a little bit too young to even be born in like the 70s. So that was a little bit odd. But that that aside, I still had a fun time with this one. I thought the 3D was great. I even called it the best 3D horror film I've seen since my Blake Valentine 3D. But yeah, Texas Chainsaw is a really fun one if you guys haven't seen it. All right, the film turning 20, of course, got Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Now, this is of course based on the book and stars and directed, and it's actually the directorial debut actually by George Clooney, who's made some hit and misses in his film career. And you also have Sam Rockwell, Julia Roberts, Drew Barrymore, Rutger Hauer was in this, Matt Damon, Brad Pitt, Maggie Gyllenhaal. And if you guys don't know much about the story here, it's where former game show TV producer Chuck Barris, best known for creating shows like The Dating Game and The Bond Show, is one network's top is a creation of the Dang Game, which is one of the network's top shows, and he has just been given the post of hosting his latest brainchild, the Gone Show. If you guys remember, that was actually rebooted with Mike Myers as hosted, which I actually quite like that one. But anyway, but what the public and industry bigwigs are aware of is that Chuck Barris, game show pioneer, is also a covert assassin, and he works for the CIA and claims to have killed 33 people, which this movie is really fun. This is, of course, now Sam Rockwell has this up beforehand, but I feel like this is actually the movie that really puts Sam Rockwell on the map for most people. He was great. George Clooney was really terrific. I mean, this is probably my favorite movie that George Clooney's directed. He's done some hits, like directing hits, like of course, Eyes of March was pretty good, but he also did some not so great stuff as well, like Suburbicon a couple years ago. So this is a really decent one. It's very entertaining. Great performances all around. So really good flick. And Texas Chainsaw is not the only horror film celebrating its birthday this week. Also turning, holy cow, 30 years old was the debut of Jennifer Aniston. Even years before, I believe this was like probably a year and a half before, she got her major breakout in Friends, and that is, of course, 1993's Leprechaun. Now, the Leprechaun movies, I've always had a fun time with, except for the space one. That was not so great. But of course, the Leprechaun films, you know, is a treat. Of course, going way back to the original Leprechaun with Warwick Davis, which lots of people probably say, whenever you think of Warwick Davis, obviously you always go to Willow. As a horror fan, I will always go to him as the Leprechaun. I've always found his laugh and performance as a Leprechaun. I've always adored. Uh, And if you guys don't know much about the story here, here you got Davis who plays a vengeful leprechaun who believes the family has stolen his pot of gold, and he of course attempts to locate his gold and kill people who stand in his way. And so, yeah, I mean, a killer leprechaun is always a given. Of course, we had like leprechaun reboots before, like Hornswoggle played the role, but I I still love the original one with Warwick Davis. Of course, we will go see Leprechaun going in space. We will go see Leprechaun, going to the hood, facing off against Ice T. So yeah, the original Leprechaun will always stand out as a fan favorite of mine. It's a movie I watch around every St. Patrick's Day. So yeah, if you guys have not really seen the original Leprechaun, do yourself a favor, go watch it. It is a really pleasant gem to watch. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Now let me do. I'll leave it to you guys. Which of these films stand out to you the most? Pretty much all of them really stand out to me because I've really enjoyed lots of these. Not really a lot to really talk about, but still. Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for one notification. This is Simmer signing out.